Have you ever said one sentence to someone and then spent the next 4 hours replaying it like it was a courtroom case? That is basically what having a crush does to you. One day, everything is normal. You are just living your life, minding your business, and then somehow, without your permission, one person ends up living rent-free in your head 24/7. You did not choose this. Nobody sits down and decides, today I will start overthinking every text from this one specific person. It just happens to you. For me, it started small, the way it always does. You notice them once and think, okay, they seem cool, nothing crazy. Then you see them again, and somehow you are paying attention to things you never used to care about. The way they laugh, the way they say your name. Small, completely unimportant things that your brain has decided are now extremely important. And then it gets into your head even when they are not around. You could be doing something completely unrelated, sitting in class, walking somewhere, lying in bed, and they just show up in your thoughts uninvited. That is when the real problem starts. Not the crush itself, but what your brain does with it afterward. I remember one specific moment that still makes me cringe a little just thinking about it. I said something to this person, nothing deep, nothing important, just a normal sentence in a normal conversation, and the second it left my mouth, I started replaying it. Did that sound weird? Did I say it in a strange way? Was there a better way I could have said that? I went back over 4 words I said in passing like I was studying for an exam, and the actual conversation had already moved on. They probably forgot I said it within 10 seconds. But I was still sitting there an hour later, mentally cross-examining myself over one completely normal sentence. That is the part nobody really explains about having a crush. It is not really about them. It is about what your own head does once they are involved. Suddenly everything feels like it carries weight. A text that takes too long to come back. A reply that is shorter than you expected. None of it actually means anything most of the time, but your brain refuses to accept that. It goes straight to the worst possible explanation before it even considers the boring, normal one. And then there is the other thing that happens, which honestly might be even worse. You start running entire conversations in your head that never happened. Whole scenarios. What you would say if this situation came up, how they would respond, how it would all play out. And for a few minutes, it actually feels good, like you are living inside something real. Then you snap back to reality, and nothing has changed. You are just sitting there, alone with your thoughts, having gained absolutely nothing except a slightly heavier head. What gets me about all of this is how much power you end up handing someone without them even asking for it. They do not have to do anything dramatic. One short reply and your whole mood lifts. One delayed reply and your whole mood drops. And the strange part is they usually have no idea this is happening. You are walking around with your entire emotional state tied to someone who is just living their normal day, completely unaware that one text from them is currently deciding how your evening goes. I used to think the fix was figuring out exactly what they were thinking. Like if I could just decode their texts well enough or read their body language correctly enough, I would finally get some peace. But that search never actually ends, because you cannot get inside someone else's head no matter how hard you try. The clarity you are looking for from them does not exist. So I stopped trying to find it there. What actually helped slowly was turning the question back on myself. Instead of constantly asking, what are they thinking? I started asking, am I actually being myself right now? Or am I performing some version of myself that I think they will like more? That shift mattered more than I expected, because the overthinking was never really about them. It was about trying to control an outcome I never had control over in the first place. I am not going to pretend this fixes everything. I still overanalyze things sometimes. I still catch myself replaying a sentence I said 2 hours ago, wondering if it landed weird. That part probably does not fully go away. But it does not run the show the way it used to. Because once you realize that most of what you are feeling is coming from inside your own head and not from them, it loses some of its grip on you. If you have a crush right now and you are sitting there overthinking some small interaction, just know the version of it playing in your head is almost always worse than what actually happened. The real version was probably just two people talking. The 4-hour court case afterward, that part is all you.